Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Feel Good workout, which is a very special one today, as I'm very pleased to announce that I am now officially an ambassador for Alzheimer's Society, which is a charity that you know is very, very close to my heart. Today's workout, I am sporting the Trek 26 Alzheimer's top. This is the marathon that I took part in 2 years ago, and the campaigns and workouts I've been providing for all the participants on the treks. There's another one this year. Today's workout is specifically with keeping our brains fit in mind. So we have lots of participants on Zoom. These are free sessions. My mother-in-law usually joins me, but she's traveling in India at the moment. Lots of safe workouts with her on my YouTube channel, also with my own mum, Dementia, whose mum had Alzheimer's, my grandmother, and we saw her suffering for nearly a decade of her life. So it's very personal to me. I'm sorry if I get emotional today, but this is quite a big day for me. I'm very keen to raise awareness of the power of exercise for reducing risks of dementia and Alzheimer's, and taking physical activity regularly is one of the best things you can do to reduce those risks of dementia, with positive lifestyle changes, of course. But today we're going to be thinking about coordination. I'm going to add in some movements. You do what you can. I will show seated and standing options. I have care homes joining us. I have schools with disabilities as well joining. You can do it from your sofa, working from home. We're streaming on Facebook, Instagram, Zoom and YouTube, where everything is saved. So let's all start, everyone, with what I call a breath snack, which is just a moment. I'm feeling quite emotional today, so I need to also calm the body and mind before we start. Hello everyone on Zoom, please stay on mute today. This recording will be going out to Alzheimer's Society as well. So let's place our hands on our laps. You can close your eyes, relax your body. This is just a minute of what I call a breath snack. Let's just tune in to our breathing. If you like, you could even place one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart, and just try and focus on lovely long inhales and even longer exhales. So breathing in and out, releasing any tension, negativity, breathing positive inhales. We do different breath snacks for every start of each Friday's free workouts. Today I'm going to do something slightly different, where I just want you to try and make that exhale lovely and long, but I'm not going to count. It's going to kick in your parasympathetic nervous system to calm the body and the mind, to get us ready for this workout, to be present, to invest in your physical and mental health. And today we're just going to do a little bit of a body scan. So still breathing nice and deep. I want you to just focus on relaxing your face and your neck. Any tension, sometimes we frown on our eyebrows, just relax the eyes. Bring a smile to your face because you made it here, even if it's for a 5-minute exercise snack, you're here. Nice and positive, relaxing everything around our jaw, which we sometimes clench. Relaxing the muscles in our neck. Then moving down the body, relaxing our shoulders away from our ears. Keeping those lovely deep breaths. Maybe releasing the arms, you can give them a little shake, let the blood flow to the fingertips, relaxing all your arms, your biceps, your forearms, your wrists, circling them out, fingertips as well. And then maybe placing your hand on your heart and your stomach, breathing in lovely, big, positive, expanding breaths. So breathe into your heart, opening out the heart chakra, giving yourself some love, some self-love today. Releasing the spine, so let your back relax. Constantly breathing in and out, relaxing your hips and your glutes. They can get tight when we're sitting for long periods. Try and release any tension in the body, including your legs, as we travel down. Relax relaxing all the muscles, just sending positive breath, lots of oxygen to those muscles. Relaxing the knees, the calves, and then just grounding your feet into the ground. Relaxing your toes, maybe giving them a little wiggle. And here we're going to just take 3 positive inhales while your body should feel lovely and relaxed. We don't want any tension. Inhale, exhale in your own time. 1 more lovely breath in, exhaling it, letting it all go. And then slowly, keeping your eyes shut, bring your hands over your eyes. Bring a smile to your face. Slowly open those eyes with your hands there just to let in some light. Smile, and then when you're ready, you can release those hands away. How do you feel? Oh, I feel great. I hope you feel better. This is fabulous for any times that we are feeling stressed, anxious, running around, busy lives, perimenopausal, menopausal, whatever you may feel. It's a moment of self-care. We're going to start with one of my feel-good hugs. So we're going to start with a technique I used over the COVID pandemic where we couldn't hug anyone, opening out the arms, really arching the back. It's like a standing or seated cat-cow. So if you're seated, you can do everything seated. And then round the back, I want you to give yourselves a massive hug. Wrap those arms around yourself. Release some lovely love hormone, the oxytocin. And let's do another one. I'm sending a big hug from Mummy. She's in India. I know she's missing today's workout. Breathing in, but a big virtual feel-good hug from me to all of you. And again, really wrap your arms around you. If you've got a loved one near you, go and grab them. In the pandemic, even now, I say maybe dedicate this last feel-good hug to somebody you love. Give them a call. That social connection is so important. And just tell them you send them a lovely feel-good hug in Lavina's workouts. Make them feel good today as well. So we're going to start with our mobility snack. So my concept of exercise snacking was all about taking short bite-sized amounts of movement. I know a lot of you on Zoom are regulars. When I'm talking and explaining the exercises, you could do an active recovery, seated or standing, a march or even a light jog, depending on your capabilities. But we're going to start with my mobility snack. So really important to keep the joints and muscles lovely and lubricated, get them warmed up for our exciting feel-good workout today. So seated or standing, I want you to just roll the neck. You can maybe march out at the same time, or to keep our brains fit, I'm going to challenge you to maybe add in a leg extension. So this is a great move to help strengthen the leg muscles. All I'm doing is lifting one leg off the ground, but I'm sending those brain messages, the neurons, to really tighten and get these muscles lovely and strong. And I will explain strength training, resistance training. This is an option while we do our neck circles for seated, if anyone is more able. And I am highlighting the fact that balance work is very important, but I would love you to make sure you've got a surface or a chair or even a wall near you. You could try balancing. This is quite a challenge. So if it's a little bit more advanced, this option, while we circle our necks, if anyone's really able, you could even try. It's quite difficult to do 2 things at once, but we're challenging our brains today. So make sure you don't fall over, and then change legs, maybe with a bit of support. So if you're seated, I'll show the leg extensions. Let's change directions. The whole point of my movements today is to add a little challenge to our brains. We want to keep them nice and fit. We want to try and increase the hippocampus and really keep that area where we know that we can reduce risks of dementia and Alzheimer's with exercise. It's one of the really powerful free tools. That's why I have no cost in these workouts. I want everyone to be doing regularly. We're then going to do some lovely openers, so we can Really open out, draw big circles with your elbows. Again, as a little challenge, we could do this seated with a leg extension. I probably have a little bit of a warning about balance here, but if anyone is able, this is quite challenging, please make sure you've got support near you. I don't want anyone falling over. Balance work is actually to help us reduce our risks of falls as we correct muscular imbalances, and we can really feel it on the supporting leg. And change directions. I'm going to show you seated as well, so with that lovely leg extension. Brilliant work. So when we hit the government guidelines of exercise, we can really reduce our risk of Alzheimer's by up to 30% and dementia by up to 40%. But I want people to build up to those guidelines by exercise snacking. So we are now going to move our arms, and maybe have a seat. If you are balancing, I can see some of you on Zoom. Well done. You can stand, or you could do this seated. We're going to just roll out our wrists to start off with. If you want to tie in the ankles, a little bit of an extra movement. So the brain has to work here to obviously get the right parts of our bodies moving. And then when I say change direction, again, that can be quite challenging. Just do what you can. This is your workout. If you don't like an exercise, replace it with another one that suits you. Brilliant. Having that leg out, I can really feel these muscles getting lovely and strong. Let's change legs. I don't know if anyone's standing here, but please make sure you've got support if you're balancing. This is really effective, really circling out our ankles. Change directions for me. Brilliant work. So let us now try and add in our arms. So we're just going to start circling out. Moving one arm round, trying to sweep it by our ears. If you haven't got that full range of movement, because people do end up sitting for long periods, and a lot of people are suffering from rounding in the back, the kyphosis. So we want to try and really expand. All of these exercises can be done when you're watching TV or when you're on your work Zoom or team meetings. Just turn the cameras off. That's why I go into workplaces to encourage people to keep moving. During the day, we could have added that leg extension here. Woo, that's quite challenging there to my brain, trying to coordinate everything today. And relax. Amazing work. So we're going to move on to our band snack. Again, when I'm talking, you can get your steps in. So we're trying to hit those cardiovascular targets. 30 minutes of aerobic, moderate intensity activity can sound really daunting, but that's why exercise snacking, I feel, is the perfect solution for when we're running out of time in our busy lives, when you're lacking motivation. Even great just to tie into an existing habit. So maybe going out for a feel-good walk, as I call it, or using your home if you're not able to get out, using your stairs, like my stair snacks through the pandemic. You could do 5 or 10 minute chunks, bite-sized snacks through the day. But we're getting our steps in even now while I explain this lovely band. So as this workout will be streamed for Alzheimer's as well, you know, you've got loads of different workouts, over 100 saved, I'm sure, on my YouTube channel from the last 3 years. This is a resistance band. If you don't have one, do not worry. You could use a pair of old tights. Anything that's got a little bit of stretch. You could even use your belt or gown tie. And if you don't have any equipment, you can just mimic this movement where we're moving our arms up and over with or without the band. What I want to point out now, we're going into the main exercises. I want everyone's shoulders, just move them up to your ears, back an inch and down the spine. So we're almost drawing a little box shape. Can you see the difference from here to bringing them up, back and down? I know my mother-in-law, bless her, does these all the time in the house and tries to really improve her posture. the same time, our back is lovely and straight for this workout, and our belly button is drawn in towards your spine, almost like you've got a rope pulling it back. So we're engaging our stomach muscles, which is a really big group of muscles that we can train. So even when you're standing around or cooking or shopping, think about your core muscles, and I will touch on pelvic floor muscles as well. I think it's really important to highlight, especially as you age, that obviously we can run into problems with our pelvic floor, and as you know, we're trying to pass urine, or we have bladder issues as we age, even with the menopause. So starting pelvic floor exercises from a young age is absolutely key. I won't talk them through, but please Google them. You have lots of information online on if you're unsure about your pelvic floor, but try and engage them. Even here today with this band snack, I'm going to bring my arms up. You can bend them as they go over, and you don't have to go all the way around. Eventually your range of movement will be lovely and full. I promise you, I've seen people in my one-to-one training days, my group PT that I do now, a lot of people, even on Zoom, I feel like all the participants can probably feel that this signature, what I call feel-good shoulder flossing, is something that I would love you to do daily, just like you brush your teeth. I talk about it in my workplace wellness workshops. If you can keep your band by your desk or your sofa, even first thing in the morning, doing this movement is going to help this full range of mobility, range of motion in this ball and socket joint, our shoulders, which are getting really, really tight. Even children, tell your grandchildren, tell your kids who may be studying and hunching over iPhones or laptops for long periods the day. Can you feel this? If it's easy, make your hands come a little bit closer and use the resistance on your tights or your band or your belt. If it's hard, loosen up. Can we try and do 5 more? Breathing in, breathing out. The breath work we did at the beginning, the breath snack, is really important through all the exercises to keep that continuous breath. So it's going to help you, it's going to make sure that you don't have the Valsalva effect where your brain can lack the oxygen and people do start feeling a little bit sick or nauseous when they're not breathing correctly through exercises. And we want to fuel these lovely muscles and our hearts with lots of oxygen as we're working out. One more, I think we've done quite a few today of my famous shoulder flossing. Can you feel it on Zoom? Give me a little thumbs up if you can. You can march it out while I demonstrate the next band exercise, with or without the band, seated or standing. Obviously everything can be done seated. Opening out, full expansion, so I'm really trying to stretch across the body. If you've got the band, and hopefully it's nice and loose one, they come in different sizes and resistances. Here, as they come in, if they get tired, bring them down. Let's go to the opposite direction. So increasing the size of our hippocampus in our brains. That's the part of the brain with all of our memories. And obviously seeing my grandmother losing her memory, her speech, her mobility, it was really heartbreaking for the last 10 years of her life. But we know that exercise plays a huge part, and actually dementia and Alzheimer's starts in your midlife, which is why this really connects with the work that I'm doing around the menopause as well. So I want men and women to exercise from a young age, but for women, as we approach the perimenopause and menopause, we have a much higher risk of Alzheimer's. It's almost double that of men, and estrogen declining plays a huge role. So in terms of protecting our brain, things like HRT can be options, but whether you're on HRT or not, exercise for me is the most important for long-term health, reducing risk of all chronic illnesses, including Alzheimer's and dementia. I've made you do quite a few there. Can you feel it? Exhale, inhale. Let's do one more. Another great one if you're sitting at your desk. Part of your mobility snack toolkit, as I call it. We're then going to do a little bow and arrow. Again, you can march your feet if you want to keep moving, but we're focusing on the band work. This is resistance training. You will feel your muscles when you've got a resistance band or something stretchy like this. We're going to do a bow and arrow. So just keeping your arms out in front, you can probably feel the lactic acid, the light burning sensation. I'm going to bring my elbow one side. I'm trying to squeeze these muscles here. They're my latimus dorsi muscles. So let's try and keep that elbow at shoulder height. Try and keep your wrists lovely and straight to your arms. Whether you're using maybe some baked bean tins, so as we progress with strength and resistance training, you can start adding in some weight. You can play this workout back on YouTube and you can really progress your, maybe the weight, maybe the amount of repetitions that you're able to do. If you get tired, please rest, listen to your body. So I'm squeezing around like a bow and arrow. This is a great one to do at your desk. A lot of physios recommend this exercise. Can you feel that? The other arm is quite straight, then the other one, the elbow's coming back and round. And I'm really squeezing these back muscles together. Let's try and do one more on each side. Do what you can. Exhale, inhale, and relax. Super work. So we just did a few exercises, lots more on my YouTube channel if you like the resistance band. I also have a Facebook community with 200 workouts for women, and we have full workouts using the resistance band, and that's open to all women of all ages globally. So on a very special offer, but I don't charge obviously for these workouts and all the content on my YouTube and social media channels. We are marching it out, everyone. Before we go into the most important part, I feel, of a fitness prescription, my feel-good prescription, which is strength training. So if you're new to strength training, please start with the easier options. We're all going to warm up today. We're going to focus first on our upper body with some seated press-ups. We do a seated option because I've had an incredible lady from a care home who was 100 years old that had Alzheimer's join in their weekly activity programs, and I saw all ages trying to do these seated press-ups. We're trying to focus our brain to our muscle connections, so mind over muscle on the upper body muscles for this exercise. So really think about that when you're exercising. There is science to show that you will get even better muscle contraction, better results physically when you have that connection. So keep our brain switched on, hands on your thighs. You're going to come down, try and bend the elbows and really push away. I am putting a little bit of weight. You do what's comfortable for you on my thighs. Inhaling and exhaling. Now I'm going to show you from the side. Our posture is really important. I am not rounding my back. I've got my scapula set like we did at the beginning. Shoulders back up, back and down. Straight line in my spine. Inhale, exhale. It may feel really easy, but I promise you, if you think about those muscles we're working, you can feel them, yeah? Can you feel that these muscles are all working in our upper body? Now the next level up, for anyone that can stand, I would love you to find a wall. This is how I started my strength training journey in my 30s, so not when I was, much younger, against the wall. And obviously now I do press-ups on the ground, but this workout is specifically for all ages and it is low impact. I'm just going to move my Instagram camera slightly. Woo, let's hope it doesn't drop there. So grab a wall if you know what you're doing and you're a regular to my session. Please start, otherwise bear with me as I get that Instagram camera ready. I'm going to the wall. I've got my hands at shoulder height. Stand close to the wall, beginners. All you're going to do is imagine a straight line from your head down to your heel. So I'm not breaking at the hips, I'm not arching either. It's stomach muscles in, straight back, straight line from your head to your heels, bending at the arms. Inhale, exhale as I push away. My hands are at shoulder height. I'll show you they're nice and wide to begin with, so that we get that lovely 90-degree bend in those arms. If anyone is used to my workouts, I know that I have regulars. Andrew, I won't put you on the spot, but I know that you are doing your press-ups against a lower surface, kitchen island, sturdy table against the wall is fabulous as a progression. If you're by the wall, another progression is to move your feet further away. We're going for about 10 repetitions or until you fail. So it's your workout. Even today, if you give me 3 good quality repetitions, I am happy. I would rather you do less than your forms start going and you feel like you can't do any more properly. So less is more. Quality over quantity. I'm on about 8. Inhale, exhale. 9. Stomach muscles in. Straight line, head to heel. And 10. Roll out your wrists. This is quite intense. We're going to try and do a second round. After a little bit of stepping, we can move those arms, maybe circle out the wrists while you're doing it. So if you're seated, same thing, marching on the spot, circling out the wrists before we do a second set of 10. Well done to those of you on Zoom that have progressed over time. This takes time. So it's taken some of my ladies that I see weekly up to a year to build up for full press-ups on the ground. These workouts, I don't show them. These are specifically for all ages, low impact, easier options. But trust me, these wall press-ups, moving my feet away, trying to keep perfect form is really quite challenging. Shall we try for another set? Maybe up to 10. Inhale, exhale, doing what you can. I talk about really strengthening the upper body. This is like the best compound move where it's multi-joint. We're not just working one isolated group of muscles. It is literally all of our upper body, even your stomach muscles, tightening them, strengthening them to reduce risks of things like osteoporosis, increasing our muscle mass as we age, which naturally declines and even more so through midlife. So circle those wrists out. Well done. You can march it out while I just adjust my camera back here for the middle while we do the next king of lower body strength moves. If you're new to strength training, I can't emphasize enough how important strength is. The more muscle mass you have, the more calories you will burn throughout the day. Although I say exercise for sanity, not vanity, maintaining a healthy weight is very important, especially to reduce the risk of lots of chronic illnesses. And muscles also create things called myokines. So this is a bit of science as we march out. Get your steps in, seated or standing. These amazing myokines that are created by muscles. And my dear mum, Kumar Ben Shah, who's on Zoom today, told me about this. They really help fight and control infection. And most importantly, the stronger we are, the more independent we can stay as we age. So we want to try and do functional movements like being able to stand ourselves. So those regulars will know, king of lower body moves means our sit and stand or our squats as we call them. If you cannot stand, because I have all ages and abilities, I want you to focus on those amazing leg extensions. You can bring that leg out. You can really squeeze these muscles. You can hold here. You could even point and flex while you're holding. Try and really focus on those leg extensions. The second level, for those of you that have the chair, we're going to just go to level 2 now, and then you pick what's right for you. Knees are always going to go out in line with your toes. They never start caving in. Hands are on the chair. We're just going to all come up a little bit, a couple of inches, inhaling and exhaling down. So this is a little level up. We are going to all do 5 of these, and then if you stay on this level, that's fine. But this is where I want you to really activate those muscles. Think about that brain, neurons traveling down, squeezing up. Exhale, inhale. Practice here. See if you can see your toes. Is the weight in your heels, in the back part of your legs? Are you squeezing up? Is your stomach muscles nice and engaged? There's lots to think about to keep our brains fit and relax. Level 3, for those of you that want to progress and are able to stand independently, you're going to try and come all the way up. We're not using any weights, just our body weight, slowly controlling it down. So we're not even rushing that movement down. Breathe out. As you come up, I want you to squeeze. I'm going to show you from the side that the weight is in my heels. I'm trying to keep my upper body nice and straight. I'm trying not to fall forward. I'm trying to use my legs to come down, sit down, touch the chair, squeeze back up. And when I say squeeze, I'm really tightening my glutes. I'm working my quadriceps at the front of my thighs. You can carry on with level 1 or 2, simple leg extension with maybe a hold. As we do 3 more sit and stands, just body weight, just check your form. Always repeating these teaching points because this is a virtual session and I want you all to do things correctly. Knees are going out. I can see my toes. Squeeze up. Shall we do 1 more? My mother-in-law usually keeps track of my numbers, so I apologize if I've gone over 10. And relax. Super work. Everyone on Zoom that I can see, did you feel that? Do you feel your heart rate has gone up? You can actually get a lovely high heart rate. I've seen, even in my own training, and the ladies that I do see twice a week, their heart rates can hit almost running type heart rates. When you start adding a little bit more weight, when you really start challenging your body. Now by weights, you can see a selection of tins, plastic bottles, laundry bottles, safe household objects is what I promote. You don't have to have fancy kit. I have a private gym, so I do have dumbbells and kettlebells, but you find what works for you. Try and start very light. If you want to add in a weight for this next set, pick your weight, especially if you're regular. Challenge yourself. Maybe think about making a little DIY rucksack that you can fill up with anything naughty. I've heard someone put in Coke bottles, so things that you're not going to be using in the kitchen. I'm going to grab this laundry bottle as a little example, and we're going to try and do 10 more. If you're doing your leg extension, even here, you could hold your arm out and maybe add in a little weight. This is progression. Do this when it feels right for you. So you try and increase the weight as we progress. We're going to go for 10. We're just leaving this weight in front of us. I'll show you from the side why it's important to try and keep the back straight. As this weight gets heavier, we don't want to be leaning forwards and compromise our spine. We want to come down, squeeze up. Everybody smile. I hope you join in. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Zoom, I can see you all, but everyone could even add in a squat snack into their daily lifestyles. I've had someone, every time they feel like they are sitting for long, they just add in 10 squats. Can you imagine if you did that through the day? What an easy way to just get in a quick squat snack, build up our muscle mass. Beautiful work. Exhale, inhale. I think we've got 3 more, team. Woo! Even counting, talking, count out loud, because that's going to help keep those brains fit as well. We're using our mental, cognition as we are moving. Let's do one more. Breathe out and inhale, come safely down. Did you feel it? I actually really felt that, even with a much lighter weight than I would usually carry. But I was really thinking about my mind to muscle connection. You can see I'm getting my steps in. I have often got 2,000 steps in this workout if you use all the breaks, which is great if you're trying to hit something like a 10,000 K step goal a day. It can be a lot for a lot of people because we are so sedentary in our lifestyles. The next move, you can keep marching if you want. The next move is going to be our shoulder press. We're all going to do it seated because what I want you to focus on are these lovely calf muscles. Today we're going to add in a little challenge as we do our shoulder press. We're also going to lift our heels. So maybe practice just lifting your heels so you're on your tiptoes and think about, again, brain to muscle connection. Can you feel those heels tightening up? We're then going to bring our hands here and we're going to exhale at the same time as we press the arms up. I'm showing you without weight. My palms are at my ears. They're facing forward. My stomach muscles are in. I don't move my back. I'm just literally doing a lovely shoulder press. It's like a functional movement to help us put things up on shelves ourselves. As we age, we want to try and be as independent as possible, but just do what you can. Focus on these muscles. If you'd like, tins, baked bean, lentil tins, soup tins are fabulous to start off with. As you progress, you can maybe go for a little higher weight. So, grab whatever weight feels good for you. When you're holding something, please make sure you don't bend at the wrist. Try and keep your wrist lovely and straight to your forearm. And we are going to breathe out, keeping our stomach muscles tight, lifting those heels, lifting those arms. Exhale, inhale. Beautiful work. Woo! Double coordination to really challenge our brains and help us use physical activity to reduce our risks of getting dementia and Alzheimer's. Really important. Breathe out with obviously good nutrition, enough sleep, mindfulness, maybe some meditation, some breath snacks, something that's going to give you a lovely holistic approach to every part of our life that's going to really help improve our long-term health. Squeeze out. Can you feel it? Maybe if it's light, go slower. Tighten those shoulder muscles. Tighten these calf muscles at the back of my lower legs. 2 more, team. Well done. Last one. And relax. Anyone want a challenge? You can carry on marching with your weights. If you need a rest, I'm giving you this little gap to rest, to bring the heart rate down, which you should feel warmer. Does everyone on Zoom feel warmer? Give me a nod or a thumbs up if you do. Amazing. Do you feel happier? It's important to point out, where are we with time? We've done about 40 minutes. Your endorphins should be released, these amazing magical feel-good hormones in the body that should boost your mental health, your mood, release any anxieties, alleviate stress, any worries. I hope you feel good. Let's try and do a second set. Now I'm going to add in a little challenge here. We're going to go from a chest press. Let's practice this move first. Can you see this perfect 90-degree bend here? If I came around with a little school protractor, I would measure your perfect 90 degrees. My hands are over my elbows, and then my elbows are at shoulder height. I then squeeze together, and I come out. These are to help build your pectoral muscle. Again, making them strong so that we improve our posture, reverse any kyphosis of the spine, that rounding. So what we're going to do as a challenge is do 1 chest press and then into your perfect shoulder press, down to that right angle, chest press. Squeeze in, exhale as you press the weight up. You don't have to add in the heel raises. You can try, if you want an extra challenge, maybe keep them lifted through these moves. If it's too difficult, just do one of the moves, either a chest press or a shoulder press. I'm adding it in to keep our brains fit today. An extra challenge. I'm trying to coordinate my heels as well. Bringing them up and down is quite challenging on the brain. Do what you can, and I can really feel my upper body muscles just with lighter weights than I would use, but I can really tense them. Feel it. Come on, shall we do one more set? Well done, everyone. Check your form. Rest if you need to. This is your workout. And relax. Woo! Super work. Did you feel that? Last little challenge while we're holding weights. Although I would say drop the weights if you haven't done these before, is just a quick round of our bicep curls. This is again isolating this part of the arm. Really important when we want to lift things. Our biceps play a huge part. So we're going to keep our shoulders in that perfect position, not here, up, back and down, spine back straight, stomach muscles in. I know it's a lot to think about. And then we're going to bring our elbows into our side and bring your tins or your light weights, curling them up while my elbows stay glued to my insides. I'm focusing on bringing the weight up to my shoulders and slowly releasing it down. That movement down is your eccentric, the negative part of the movement. Yes, if you want to add in a bit of an extra, if you haven't done enough leg extensions, add them in. If you like the heel raises, add those in. Try and challenge yourself. And if you can't, just do what's good for you today. Now these are light for me, but I'm really going nice and slow for time under tension of my muscle groups. I just can't emphasize enough how I want all ages strength training. So please share these workouts. I want to try to help as many people as I can to feel good, right? Squeeze up. Shall we do one more? Woo! Well done, everyone. And release. You should feel like you've really worked a lot of the major muscle groups. Every session is different. I obviously add in extra workouts. So I want to keep you challenged, but you can go back, replay, and maybe progress yourself with these workouts. Now we're going to do a little bit of fun. We're just going to have a very quick blitz of cardiovascular. We have been getting our steps in. You may still be moving. I'm going to add in a couple of my favorite exercises. We're going to start with a bit of coordination. So this takes a bit of coordination. We're going to try and move one foot out. Seated, I'll show you first, as the opposite arm extends. Almost like a nice little reach. If you can't do it, just try and work that brain, or maybe just do the leg or the arm. You can do this standing. I'm doing it nice and slow to start, reaching through. I hope you can feel your lovely back muscles. This is using a different plane of movement. So I'm reaching across the body. Really good to keep our brains fit, this one, because it needs a lot of coordination. Let's go for 10 more seconds. Progression could be even holding your baked bean tins or your light weights on this one. So if anyone wants to add in 10, 9, good, 8. Count out loud with me. That's great for your brain as well. 5, 4, brilliant. 3, 2, and 1, and relax. So we are actually doing a little cardio or a HIIT snack. By high intensity interval training, you don't have to go really intense. We're keeping it low impact today for this workout, so it's suitable to everyone, but you can make things a little bit faster. We're going to do that same move again. Give me a nod on Zoom if you like this one. little bit of coordination. So seated or standing while I explain the benefits of HIIT. So let's go again, seated or standing. In terms of cardiovascular health, obviously we want to keep our heart strong. We want to reduce risks of things like cardiovascular disease. Type 2 pre-diabetes as well is obviously a charity that I am an ambassador for, also very passionate. And all of these chronic illnesses like Alzheimer's and dementia, the more we can hit these guidelines of about 30 minutes a day, maybe a 5-minute snack, play this back. So the more we do this, it really helps our sensitivity to insulin, and it attacks the visceral fat. So the fat, the dangerous fat that can cause things like heart attacks, strokes, type 2 diabetes. This is nice and low impact, but we're keeping our bones strong. Yeah, and we lose our bone density as we age as well. So if you were, heaven, like forbid, if you did have a fall, there's less likely to have a chance of fracture. So let's keep going. 3 and 2 and 1. You know I love the science behind exercise, so I'm trying to give as much information while you're moving and to distract you and myself. Obviously, have a little break. Out of 10, how does your heart rate feel? Your breathing should be a little bit faster. You should be warmer. Maybe have a little sip of water if you need one. Just a little sip. It's really important to stay hydrated, especially after this session. Trying to aim for 2 liters of water a day. So we're going to go into our high knees. We don't have to have weights, but we can use the arms if we want. We're going to bring the knees up slightly towards our chest. Again, back is straight. Stomach muscles are in. I'm really trying to focus on this lovely lower abdominal region. So really keep them tight. We can do it standing. It takes balance. So only if you're able. We can then add in, for our brains, a bit of coordination using one arm. Don't worry if you haven't got the right lovely sequence here. This is your workout. I can see everyone on Zoom, and I love seeing you work out with me. You can go fast, you can go slow. You can do seated or standing. We're going for 5, 4, keep breathing, 3, 2, and 1. That was literally 20 seconds. But you can hear that I'm starting to get into the anaerobic training zone where it's harder for me to speak. My heart rate is up, and my breath, you can hear it's a lot. My heart rate is much faster, right? Slightly out of breath. If I asked you to sing a song, I'm not sure if you could be able to sing a perfect song right now. If you didn't feel it, play it back. Maybe progress each time. We're going to go to my favorite cardio now, and I did this last night in a massive menopause talk for the community. We are boxing, so we are going to really punch out all of our worries, our stress, our tension. You don't have to have weights. If you're doing it without weights, seated or standing, I want you to just use this as a bit of a stress reliever, the best form of stress relief. And if you want to add in your marches, let's make it a full body move. We're going for 10 seconds. Really quick, little short snacks, a boxing snack. You could go faster. We're going for the last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Amazing work. Breathe, you can recover. Join in when you're ready for the last little snack of our cardio section, and it's our famous star jumps that we can do seated. So we just have one leg out. We're not doing high impact, no jumping, but we're still going to be able to get a lovely little clap together. So if you haven't got weights, I want to hear your clap. Another progression for seated that my mother-in-law does so well is double legs, double arms. It takes quite a lot of coordination, star jumps. And if you're standing, again, I want to hear that clap. Can you give yourselves a massive clap for joining in? Even if you're watching, just join us for this 20 seconds of star jumps. It's going to make you feel so good. You're going to feel like you've had a little bite-sized amount of movement to break up those sedentary hours. Lift the mood. Let's go for 10. Give yourselves a big clap, whether you're seated or standing. 8, 7, 6, your stars. You are my stars. 3, 2, 1. Woo! Everybody give yourselves a clap. On Zoom, did you feel that? I hope you did. Now control your breathing. You're not going to stop suddenly. We're just going to slowly bring the heart rate down. What we're going to do is add in a last minute of balance before our stretch snack. So seated, when we're sitting for long periods, your hips can get tight. Your hips are also massive ball and socket joints that really crave mobility. So this is one to just bring our heart rates down, do what you can, rest if you need to. That was quite intense. So well done. Hip circles can be done seated with one leg nice and straight. All I'm doing is trying to keep everything else still, and I'm circling out the hips. When we have a lot of stress or tension, it also gathers in your hips. That hip pain can lead to back pain or travel around the body. The next option is to carefully come up to standing. If you're able to balance with a bit of support, the other option is to do your hip circles, keeping that support there. Just going to move everything out of the way. Make sure you don't have any weights near you. The standing supporting leg is going to take all your body weight. You can keep your fingertips by the chair if it was easy to hold. That's a progression. The next progression would obviously be to have both hands on the waist and maybe just that support there if you need it. If you're seated, carry on. Let's change directions. I'm keeping the foot hovering so I can really feel this leg taking all my body weight, and it's going to help correct muscular imbalances. So great for people that do a lot of workouts or even running, circling out big or small circles. I can feel that. Let's change sides if you haven't. We've got just 10 more seconds of work before my favorite part of my Feel Good workouts, the stretch snack, where we really look after ourselves, reduce risks of injuries. So really important to stretch. Let's change direction. Can you feel that? I can really feel that even seated. You could do this when you're working from home, when you're watching TV for too long. Anytime you're sedentary, add in a little hip snack as well, or a bit of balance work. Give yourselves a little smile and a clap. We're going to stretch it out, team. This is so important, as I said, to increase not only your flexibility, to bring the heart rate down, to try and reduce the soreness that you may feel if you're doing any new exercises or you're new to fitness. We're going to have one leg nice and straight. So I'm going to flex my toes towards me. That on its own, that flexing the toes towards you should feel a lovely stretch from the top of your leg down to your heel. If that's already hard, you could even lean forward slightly, bringing your chest down towards your thigh, or you can take a lovely big inhale, reach the arms, and then reach down. Doesn't matter if you can't hit your toes touching them, you can just rest your hands on your shins, your knees, your thighs. Breathing here, I want you to relax your head and neck. Just really release any tension. We're trying to take lovely deep breaths, like our breath snack at the start, and just bring the heart rate back down to normal. If it feels tight, try and really send that breath to any areas that feel they need that lovely release. Inhale, exhale, slowly roll up. How did that feel? Let's try and do the same on the other side. Ideally, you would hold your static stretches for at least 15 to 20 seconds. Other side reaching wherever feels good for you. Relax the head, neck and shoulders and just breathe. Take lovely deep breaths. If you have a few minutes at the end or beginning of a day, just play back the last 5 minutes of any of my YouTube workouts and you could do a little self-care stretch snack. So good for your body and your mind. And it really helps just calm everything down. Parasympathetic nervous system as we take deep breaths and roll up. Amazing work. We've done a lot with our upper body. Although I want you to remember me, I don't want you to be too sore. So bring one arm in front of you. Other hand locks either above or below the elbow. We're just drawing that arm in towards us. Looking over that shoulder. Seated or standing. I haven't got my mother-in-law today, so I've tried to show you everything with both options. I want these workouts to be as accessible and go out as far as I can, get maximum reach to help as many people as possible. Other side, bringing that arm in, looking over the shoulder. Beautiful work. Breathe. I hope you feel your heart rate's coming back down to normal. You should feel a lovely stretch around your shoulders, your upper back. And we're going to just stretch out our sides. Either seated, we're just going to lean over. Give me a little wave on Zoom if you're on Zoom. If you'd like to join on Zoom, sign up to my newsletter on my website. We have a special WhatsApp group to keep everyone's session reminders. So seated or standing, coming back to the middle. Let's stretch out the other side. That feels so good, all the way down. I have a WhatsApp group that I send out these reminders. Next week there won't be a session on Fridays, it's half term. I will keep you posted if I do get to go away for a few days. So please use the YouTube saved workouts and we will be back the following Friday. We're going to do a final feel-good hug, almost like a seated or standing cat-cow from yoga principles. Really arch the back, open out all the muscles you've used. Inhale, exhale, round the back. So I'm really trying to open out the vertebra, tuck the tailbone under, chin to chest. If you're doing it seated, give yourselves a big hug. And then all of my workouts, we have a feel-good finish. I will do it standing, but you can do it seated as well. I have lots of workouts translated into Gujarati, which is my Indian language that my nanny, my dear Ba, who had Alzheimer's, used to speak, and I learned GCSE Gujarati for her, so I could communicate and write letters to her. Take a lovely big positive inhale. Reach the arms up. Exhale any negativity, tension as you bring those arms down. Let's do one more big feel-good finish. Big positive inhale. Capture all that positivity. Hands come together. Bring that positivity down to your heart center. Take a moment, everyone, to thank your amazing body for whatever it allowed you to do today. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for sharing these workouts. And thank you to Alzheimer's Society for letting me join their charity to help try and spread awareness of the power of exercise to reduce our risks of dementia and Alzheimer's, especially in the South Asian community where I feel a lot of work needs to be done. And from my personal experience of losing my dear late grandmother, Kastuben Shah, and obviously also with the work that I'm doing around the menopause, where we have increased risk as women of getting Alzheimer's. So thank you all for sharing. Lots and lots of love. I do have to save this properly on Instagram, so Alzheimer's can share it, but it's saved on my YouTube, Facebook,